Hey, have you ever looked at buying a piece of property that did not have a deeded access, public road frontage, a deeded right-of-way, whatever language you're used to using? I'm listing this property right here. It's about 100 acres, and it's landlocked as it can be. I mean, it was even tough to get to the hard way, the sneaky way, the the real estate land guy way. I'm on it, but it was tough. But anyway, if you're going to buy property that does not have deeded access, just know a couple of things. Number one, the price needs to reflect that it doesn't have access. So if you're looking at tracts and one's got access, the other doesn't, if you're comparing apples to apples, the apple without the deeded access ought to be cheaper than the one with the access. And that's if you're comparing apples to apples now. But the access is worth a lot of money. And so it ought to show up in the asking price of that property you're looking for. Second thing, just understand that a lot of lenders, most lenders, as a matter of fact, that you'll probably deal with, will not loan money on a tract that does not have public road frontage or a deeded servitude or easement, doesn't have deeded access. They just won't touch it. Now, there are some banks that will, a lot of them in our part of the world will, if it's a timber tract, because they're used to dealing with people getting their timber in and out across adjoining landowners. It's kind of common in certain parts of the world. It certainly is here in the South. So lenders will loan on that tract right there because it is a straight up timber tract, and a man would be able to get his timber out. He might have to beg, borrow, steal, get some permissions here or there and jump through some hoops, but he'll be able to get his timber out, especially that one, because it joins this, a tract of land that's owned by a small timber company. They're going to let them come in and out with a road use agreement or something like that to be able to harvest this timber. But that might not apply to you on the 22 acres you're looking at somewhere, as a little campsite or a recreational tract. If it's not a straight up timber tract, a lot of banks just won't loan on it if it doesn't have access. Third thing is you can get access, maybe, probably, hopefully, but just know that it's a lot to it sometimes. Just because your state laws may have provisions for giving access to landlocked tracts doesn't mean that it's just a snap of a finger and it's done. You're going to have to jump through some hoops. You're going to have to maybe even sue people, adjoining landowners. You're going to have to get appraisals and surveys done. You're going to have to do a lot of work to get that all worked out if you can find agreeable landowners joining you that will give you access. So it is doable to get deeded access. Some states different states have different laws and ways to go about it. So double check that where you are. I'm not an attorney. I can't pretend to be one either. I know what it's like here in Louisiana, but over here in Texas, it's a little harder. Over here in Louisiana, it's a little bit easier. Sometimes you can get permission to cross an adjoining landowner to get back and forth to your property, and then you go knock on Mr. Johnson's door, and he'll say, yeah, just, take care of my roads and don't leave any trash. And a lot of times you can get permission, but permission to use a road to get in and out of a property is not deeded access. Banks won't look at your permission as anything tangible. It's got to be of record. It's got to be a deeded easement or servitude or have public road frontage before a lot of banks will consider it. But a lot of times you can get that privilege, that personal right of use to cross Mr. Johnson's land to get on yours. But just know that if you ever want to sell your property, that permission that Mr. Johnson gave you doesn't pass to the new owner. It just doesn't do it. It's like a football ticket. You got a ticket to go see the Rams play. You can get in with that ticket one time, and that ticket's just for you, and you can't use that ticket and next week come back, your friend come back with the stub and go, hey, my buddy used this, can I get in? They're gonna laugh at him. Mr. Johnson gonna laugh at him too. So just understand those things when you're talking about, or when you're thinking about buying property that does not have deeded servitude or easement. Now, those words are interchangeable. Louisiana uses servitude, most other states use the word easement. You hear one, it basically means the same as the other. So if you want to know a little bit more about landlocked tracts, there's some videos that I've done right there that may be helpful. Check them out.